Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at from the Transformers uh, Studio Series 86 line. This is Core Class Rumble, as blue, as they also add. I got this figure from Hasbro Pulse, and why I think it might have been popping up in retail establishments, brick and mortar. In terms of online retailers, I know like Toy Arena might have had it, but or have it, but that's about all. And it's also been popping up on eBay. Just a few things to note. Number one, if you're buying this in brick and mortar, have a little flashlight with you, because Rumble is so small. It actually really sits very deep and small in the core class box, if you can believe that. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but also it's four accessories. The two pile drivers and the two guns are in one corner each, so you might want to check to make sure they are there and have not been somehow pilfered. Yeah, I mean, Rumble really is small, but then again, this figure is compatible with pretty much every version of Soundwave that is micro cassette compatible. That means the Shattered Glass Soundwave, which we'll see in a moment, the Earthrise Soundwave, the War for Cybertron, Siege Soundwave and Sound Blaster, um, going back, Masterpiece Soundwave, and even G1 Soundwave. So yeah, that's kind of cool. We're starting off here with the figure with its pile drivers attached. Unfortunately, these parts here at the bottom don't move, they are fixed into place. Again, this figure is being made on a different budget, so while the Masterpiece one could do it, this one can't. And just to remove them, straighten out the figure here, and basically you're just going to pull it off the arm. It is, as you can see, it's a very small figure. My hands are covering it. And then what we can do is, using your thumbnail, flip out the hands that are on like a faux ratcheting type joint. Yeah, this is like, I mean, he is small. And a better look, you do see this is the groove where the arms fit in. Unfortunately, while there is a 5mm port right there, I guess for a blast effect, there is no 5mm posts, nor and that post right there is compatible with the post on the on Rumble's blaster, but there's really no way to store these in robot mode. As again, on the Masterpiece version, the blaster could slide in and then these would peg on the back. Also, unfortunately, there's no way to store them on, say, Soundwave. In fact, there's no way to store any of Rumble's accessories on Soundwave. That's just an unfortunate little issue that has happened as I adjust the camera ever so slightly. There's very small ports on the guns, which you can remove them, and they do peg into the side. They do not, obviously, the hands do not have weapon holds, but you can do that and, pose the figure up a little. There you go. I mean, it is small, very small. And I am a little disappointed we couldn't put the hole maybe well, at first I was disappointed that the hole was not on top of the forearm, which is how the weapons usually sit, but I believe that was done to have a cleaner cassette mode. So there is that. And so we'll just get into the transformation right now, since we're already handling the figure. Remove the weapons, and let me just show you real quick. As I mentioned, there's the post there, so you can do a little something like that. But put them off to the side, rotate the head around, and fold it up into the back. bring the arms up on the double hinges so they sit on top of the shoulders. Go ahead and flip the hands in again. Yeah, this is very, it's kind of hard. It really is, like, the size is just, once you start handling it, it almost disappears in your hand. Flip up the feet, rotate the legs at the knee so that where the feet will be facing inward, and you'll just go ahead and rotate. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. You want to rotate the feet outward. I made a mistake there, because what you're going to do now is you want to bring them up on, there's like the hip hinge and this will basically form the side of the micro cassette mode. So just like that. So you want the feet facing outward away from the torso. And once that's done, you have a very clean looking, very classic looking micro cassette. I mean, you could peg the blasters back in if you so desired. One thing I really appreciate is, if you notice the pins here that are for the shoulders, those actually make up the little reels on the cassette. So that's kind of cool. And I'll be honest, I would be surprised we don't get a Frenzy red one out of this. But I wouldn't mind also seeing a Core, Ravage, and Laserbeak, and maybe even Ratbat, because I think Ratbat was in the movie, to feature along with this, if it's done in this style. I mean, very nice, very simple. So what we'll do now is we'll pause real quick, and I'll show you how it fits inside Soundwave's chest. Okay, so as we all know, just press the button here. Soundwave will pop open. You can put Rumble in either way. And I have to say, Rumble, being a more complete cassette, fits a lot better in the chest. But there you go. It opens, close, open. And let me show you what I mean. Like, here's Laserbeak. And as you can see, there's a lot more parts that are open, and a lot more open space and gaps, and that does cause an issue getting the tape in and out. It really doesn't sit right. I mean, granted, these aren't really designed to look like shields, and that's why I said, if they want to do a Laserbeak, a Ravage in this style, that would be really cool, because I think they would fill in these gaps and it would sit better in the chest of a Soundwave. Maybe we'll get an 86 Soundwave, a micro cassette that's not a retool. Who knows? But I doubt it. But you see what I mean, and how, it does fit nicely in. There you go. Oh, that one time it almost came flying out. Oh, don't make a liar out of me. There we go. And slide it in. There we go. Oh, that slid out that time. So really cool that it works that way. And like I said, this is compatible with any version of this Soundwave, Masterpiece, Generation 1. So I do appreciate that all this time the designers have been able to keep the cassettes rather cross-compatible with each other. So I think that's about it for the review. We'll pause, and we'll come back with my final thoughts. I really think Rumble here is a fine figure. I do appreciate it as an addition to the 86 line, even though, to be honest, it's not going to go into my 86 movie display, because really I don't have another Soundwave or anybody like that to go with it yet. I mean, if they do make another Soundwave and or put out more cassettes, we might I might consider it. Also, then we would probably need more cassettes for Blaster, but seeing as how I don't even have Blaster as part of the display, that might have to change too. A lot of people might be turned off by the very simple nature of Rumble, the size, its size, the very simple articulation, but I mean, that's really the best that Hasbro could do with, within the confines of the price point, and keeping it compatible as a, as a working cassette. um, I know some people are going to look at the figure and look at the price and be like, well, what's going on? And I think because the figure is so small, that's how we were able to get the included pile drivers. If it was a bigger figure, number one, I don't think it would be compatible with Soundwave, but number two, we wouldn't have gotten the pile drivers with it. So there's always that trade off. Um, but I like it, and I definitely recommend it. That's about it for the review. If you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I will always appreciate the views, your likes, comments, and subscriptions help to communicate to YouTube through the algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you, help me to help you, bring figures like Rumble to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. As you've seen over the past year or so, I have upgraded my light box. I did get a new phone, which means a new camera, and I think the overall quality has come out a lot nicer and a lot better, and I feel happier about how my videos look, and that's all thanks to you guys and your continued support. I can only put in what I get put out, what I get back in, and I've been getting back in a lot. But I also want to stress that I know we are in a time of inflation and recession, and prices are very high, and I want you to keep in mind, and I mean this with all sincerity of heart, if you cannot afford the $1 a month or $12 a year, do not worry about me. I will be fine. You take care of yourselves. Your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous sundae. That's about it. This is your old pal Chuck for Rumble. And you can see it's covered up my head. We will see you next time.